Fat Mack's going to go with Raw.
Well, you don't really have much of a choice, do you?
That was my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't know. I was so excited when I thought War Games was this weekend. That makes Survivor Series so much more easy to watch, because at least you get to watch something good that week. But, nope, Survivor Series is still held off for a couple more weeks. That'll be the weekend of December 6th.
You mean War Games. Survivor Series is going to be this week. They're not holding that off, folks.
They should.
You can just push it off indefinitely.
I mean, most people aren't allowed to have Thanksgiving this year, so why have Survivor Series?
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I'm hoping for a good War Games. I seen that they have 1 or 2 matches released for it. I haven't seen what they are yet. I'm optimistic. Oh, well, yeah, never mind. I do know that there's one of them. It's Pat McAfee and Team Valor or whatever, and or Undisputed Era. So that one could be okay. Nonetheless, Survivor Series is this weekend.
Yes. Hey, and last week we forgot about something. Last week we
forgot about 2 things.
Talkin' Shop-A-Mania, Part 2.
And Impact Turning Point.
Yeah.
Which
see, I knew about that. I just figured it didn't make it to the show because it's not a pivotal pay-per-view.
It's a pay-per-view. Let's put it this way. It was fucking way better than Talkin' Shop-A-Mania 2.
Oh, hell no.
My gosh. Talkin' Shop-A-Mania 2 was just fucking... They dropped the ball. They fucking dropped the ball.
I liked it. My biggest gripe was they reused too many of the same people from the first one.
It was the same pay-per-view. Just copy and paste it.
There's some new jokes.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't.
I liked it. It was
fun. What was the new joke? One new joke.
Circumcision is a mystery.
No, that was just a fucking retread of their damn Boneyard match with whoever the guys were that came out for him. I did like Circumcision, which was, for those of you who haven't seen it, it was a take on Revolution.
Evolution.
So they had fucking nobody knows who the fuck they were, Paystee. Obviously. You had Triple, You had what was it, Anthony Horton?
Yeah.
You had who the fuck? Nox, was it Noxtista? What'd they call him?
Yeah, Noxtista.
Noxtista, which was Nox as Batista. And then who was the 4th one?
Flair, whoever plays Nature
Boy. It was the Nature Boy. Yeah. That was fun. I really did actually really like that.
Why'd they park a mile away? Just walking slow.
That was fun. And the Chavo Guerrero death match got fun just with all the, Taya Valkyrie got into that. And
that was, I think, the shining point of the pay-per-view for me. How in the world do they bill it as the worst pay-per-view, and then they have what is, at least in my eyes, possibly the best cinematic match I've seen in wrestling? The Chavo Guerrero match was probably the shining light. The rest of it was, God, I don't know, for whatever reason, I wasn't feeling it that night. It just felt like retread. The first time we seen it, it was like, yeah, it's stupid, but it's fun because they're doing something different. And this time it's like, well, yeah, it's stupid, but it's the same stupid I seen last time. So for me personally, I just didn't get a lot more out of it. The Ball for a Ball match had its moments. And the CWO, the Castration World Order, yeah,
I got a huge pop out of that, and I laughed my ass off. But God, I mean, personally, for me, this one was miles behind the first one, and I think the first one I would have fun showing to a non-wrestling fan as something fun. This one I would be embarrassed to show, just personally.
Well, I mean, if you didn't show them the first one, you could show them the second one.
And maybe they'd like it better.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it.
I loved when they had Triple and they're like, you promised us so many things. You said you wanted to be at my son's graduation.
That That was really good because they had Jindrak on there, and the problem is though they didn't explain the backstory with Jindrak being there, where Jindrak was originally going to be the fourth member. It was going to be Triple H, Ric Flair, Dave Bautista, and Mark Jindrak, and then they just decided they didn't want Jindrak.
Yeah.
And so Batista took the spot, and probably rightfully so. Although I was a huge Jindrak and O'Haire fan, maybe more O'Haire than Jindrak, but that's a 2000s WCW thing that obviously most people weren't following, so didn't know. I followed them to the end, so I did know, but that was another. Yeah, I just wish they would have explained. I guess those who know, and those who don't, it was probably awkward, but.
Well, I think they just assume that if you're watching their shitty pay-per-view, you're probably a diehard wrestling fan.
I would hope you. Yeah, I would hope you are. And the softcore match was super fun.
Yes.
And Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and PJ Polacco or Just Incredible, and they had a softcore match where they're hitting each other with inflatables and stuffed animals, and just anything that doesn't hurt.
And fucking Dreamer won, motherfucker.
That was pretty cool. You gotta love it.
Yes. I think my favorite thing of the whole show though was the Anthony Horton when he gets up on the corner post and he goes to do his pose and he just kind of shrugs.
Does the shrug. Oh, that was awesome. I didn't like, and I don't know what the deal was, Big LG having the Star Wars hologram. Like, I don't know if maybe
because he made so much money off the first pay-per-view. Now he's a big star.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal was, but it didn't work for me. I thought it would have been so much better with the three of them there.
Yeah.
I didn't dig it. There was just a lot that I didn't dig this time, and I don't know why. I can't tell you other than it was basically the same thing, and I guess too much of the same thing isn't that great when it isn't amazing.
I'd still watch the third one.
Oh, I'll still watch the third one, but
I'll probably watch everything they shovel out.
I just honestly hope that they do. I hope they make big changes.
I mean, isn't it kind of a lampoon in itself when they do the same thing twice? You know what I mean? Like that's what wrestling is. It's doing the same shit over and over.
I akin the first one to the ICP's Stranglemania, where it was just them kind of goofing over stuff, and they didn't have to be the best matches, and they were awkward, and they pointed out when they fucked shit up, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, then they did Stranglemania, and in Stranglemania 2, they did a lot of different stuff. They added new commentators, they added women in the mix, they had a completely different side gag. It was like they kind of completely changed up what they did, but they still kept the underlayer the same, and it's like, I think I would like that.
Well, everything was set up in different areas this time.
I think if they'd get brand new people with brand new ideas, and maybe switched up. I love Rocky Romero, but maybe switch Rocky Romero with somebody else or something, or just I don't know. I think they just needed to do something different to bring it up a notch, and I hope next time they can. You know, whether that's more guys who are released from WWE that bring in a bigger impact, no pun intended. Because they did have Scott D'Amore. I had a big pop for Scott D'Amore too.
Yeah, actually wrestling.
Give him a job. And then you had Heath Slater doing the moves of Cordera. Zack Ryder.
There you go.
Yeah. Cordona, not Cordera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was fun too with the swaggle stuff. I like how they changed the bat into a wrench. So that was a callback from the last one that I actually really liked. He came in with something different. It was three things.
It was a kendo stick that turned into a bat, and then it turned into a wrench.
Yeah, it's like I did like that, and the frog splash that he did. They showed him climbing to like the 1.5 turnbuckle, and then they showed him jumping on him.
Yeah.
Where you could obviously tell he didn't do the tadpole splash, but it was like, so, I mean, there was good stuff to it.
The for a ball match didn't come close to the eye for an eye match, though. Like, I expected a little bit more out of it, like, in the sense of parodying WWE. Yeah, I think this one felt a little less like a parody and more like they're trying to do their own thing, but it's the same. You know what I mean? They just kind of took the parody out of it for the most part.
Yeah, it was meh. The Chavo Guerrero shit was awesome, though.
Yes.
Like, I'll watch that.
Really good cinematography there.
It's probably, honestly, the only thing I'd watch again. Just thinking back, I think that's the only thing I'd watch again. Maybe the softcore match that started out as like.
The sad thing about the Chavo Guerrero thing was it was so good that I zoned out on it, and I can't tell you anything that happened in it.
Oh! My God, there was so much good shit with murder. Like, people were dying in there, and... Oh, it was so much fun. You had not Rocky Romero. You had whose mom?
Oh Christ. I forget what his name was.
Anyways, you had his mom and him, of course, and yeah. No, it was good. I love it. I'd watch that again, hands down. I think that stole the show.
I think
so we didn't miss that.
It just goes to prove, I think that's due in a big part to the fact that Scott D'Amore, and this is like, it's basically an Impact production. Impact is the only company that gets these cinematic matches right, like, all the time. And I think Matt Hardy needs to go back there as soon as possible. It's the only way the Broken Universe is going to actually work.
Yeah, and with so many Impact talents in there, you could tell that Impact helped with it. You know what I mean? The Good Brothers are Impact contracted guys. There were a lot of Impact pro wrestlers that appeared in there. So, yeah, obviously, I agree with you. I think Matt should definitely end his career in Impact. Even though it may seem like a demotion, creatively, I think it's the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm. It's where he's the best, and that's a proven fact now. That didn't work in WWE. It kind of works in AEW, but it's
not like it did.
The magic isn't there.
No.
And, it makes me, it's funny because you think back to when they had their war, when Hardy was trying to get the gimmick from them. They didn't want to let it go. They were probably doing it for his sake. You know what I mean? Like, no, just keep it here. You know, go be Matt Hardy over there, but keep the Broken Universe here.
Right? Don't sully it. Don't sully it. Yeah, it was good stuff. And I do just want to say, Turning Point for Impact was very good. It felt like a B pay-per-view, and obviously it was a B pay-per-view. It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was what they call an Impact Plus exclusive or whatever.
Yeah.
But the main event, Rich Swann versus Sami Callihan, was awesome. Deonna Purrazzo versus Su Yung in the no DQ match for the Impact.
Sami Callihan was
awesome.
So good in Talking Shop-A-Mania 2. When they're all holding hands. Why can't we're just two guys holding hands. And then he dies with his face in his crotch.
And obviously, the North and the Good Brothers for the Tag Team Championship was just amazing. And there were some throwaway matches. Willie Mack and Moose wasn't great. Rohit Raju had his Rohit free-for-all or whatever where he calls anyone out. Cousin Jake answered. Wasn't really good. Brian Myers versus Swoggle. Hello.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
A Talking Shop-A-Mania match right there.
Exactly. But I would say the last three matches, the tag team title match, the women's title match, and the Impact World Championship were all really good. Otherwise, it was a B show, but I recommend it. We didn't get to give our predictions or results, but I do say if you like Impact, if you like those people, for sure, check out the Good Brothers versus the North. That was pretty badass.
Oh, I bet.
If I could only pick one match for you to watch out of that, I would say that one.
How would it stack up compared to Bucks versus FTR?
It didn't. I mean, hello, did you expect anything different? It didn't. But nonetheless, it was a really awesome